Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins, your host of the Marvel/DC Universe Fan Club. We are now episode 18, and I have breaking news for y'all. John Wick Chapter 3 is already in the works, and I'll be doing a review on John Wick Chapter 2. And, of course, I will make a brief announcement of a new Marvel character that has been confirmed for Avengers Infinity War. Someone you're pretty much familiar with. So, spoiler alert, I will be talking about John Wick Chapter 3. So, I will be including, parts of the movie, of Chapter 2. So, if you don't want to hear this, then I strongly suggest you do not listen to this podcast until after you see John Wick Chapter 2. So, just give me y'all a warning to not listen to the podcast if you do not want to hear things that happened in John Wick Chapter 2. So, of course, I'll be talking about Chapter 3 being in the works right now. So, just letting y'all know, y'all have been warned. So, here goes. In 2014, John Wick became a sleeper action hit, wowing moviegoers with its innovative gun-fu set pieces and intricate world building. The Underground Assassin Society begged to be explored further in follow-ups, and John Wick Chapter 2 delivered on the promise of its predecessor in highly entertaining ways. Not only was the action next-level director Chad Stahelski and writer Derek Kolstad expanded the franchise's mythology in ways that felt organic and natural, never forcing something for the sake of making a sequel. The critical and hopefully commercial success of Chapter 2 means that a third installment should be on its way soon. Though the studio hasn't officially given it a green light, but still in the works. They are planning it and trying to decide, okay, how they're gonna, what kind of script they're gonna do for it. So, the first John Wick was very much a self-contained story, showing a former hitman get revenge and avenge the murder of his beloved puppy. In contrast, Chapter 2 is a bit more open-ended, teasing fans with a tantalizing cliffhanger that presents a very certain future for John and his unnamed pet bull. So here's how John Wick 2 sets up Chapter 3. So first is Excommunicado. John's motivations for returning to the fold in Chapter 2 are not as emotional and personal as they were in the first film, but they're nothing less intriguing. Word of his comeback spread through the criminal network, and old acquaintances, old acquaintance Santino D'Antonio comes to ask John to fulfill a blood oath they made many years ago. Santino helped John with his mythical impossible task, which allowed Wick to leave the assassin life, and now it's John's turn to aid Santino. John is tasked with murdering Santino's sister, Gianna, so Santino can have her seat at the high table. Of course, John is successful in his mission, but then the tables are turned. Instead of simply honoring the arrangement and letting John go in peace, Santino makes public his intention to extract revenge for his sister's death and places an open $7 million contract on John. Wick is then forced to fight for his life against a sprawling lineup of hitmen, killing a plethora of people in a multitude of brutal ways. His blood-soaked quest leads him straight to Santino, who's then who has then, of course, taken refuge at the Continental Hotel, where conducting business is strictly forbidden. So, of course, that's the cardinal rule that was in the first one, which was you couldn't conduct business on continental grounds. So, was it Miss Perkins pretty much paid that price? So, but at this point, John does not care about the rules and makes a truly shocking decision. In the Continental Lounge, after Santino taunts John by saying he can essentially stay at the hotel indefinitely, John, right in front of hotel manager Winston, played by Ian McShane, pulls out a gun and shoots Santino in the head, explicitly violating one of the two basic laws of the assassin culture. The other being fulfilling blood oaths. It's a choice that has severe consequences for John, something he very well understood when he pulled the trigger. Those who saw that happen to Perkins, of course, in the first film, know what's in store for Mr. Wick. It most likely involves a dinner reservation for one. In Chapter 2's final scene, John is summoned by Winston, who reveals that the price on John's head is now doubled. Winston is taking the contract international and has excommunicated John from all continental locations and benefits. As a courtesy, he gives his old friend 1 hour to escape. But John is going to literally be fighting against the world on his own now. John warns Winston that no matter who comes for him, he will kill them all, and then runs to safety with his dog, paranoid that anyone watching him in New York could be an assassin plotting to collect a bounty. The man who wanted nothing more than to just get out and leave in peace is now in deeper than he's ever been. So, where can he go? So, where does this story go? Is that should John Wick Chapter 3 come into fruition? And there's nothing suggesting it won't. The obvious route for Stahelski, and company to go is to pick up right where they left off, having the whole film be about John as a globally wanted man with a death sentence, and examining how he can correct the situation. So this could make for a refreshing change of pace, as Wick will be trying to survive with extremely limited resources. In the first two installments, he had full access to all the perks that come with the Continental membership, including a tactical tailor and his very own Q, who sets him up with much needed artillery. Now, however, if John shows his face at any of the hotels, he's a dead man walking. So, even though John Wick is the most lethal hitman in history, he will still need some help if he is to ward off everyone who is coming after him. A possibility there could be the Bowery King, Lawrence Fishburne's enigmatic character from Chapter 2, Stahelski is hopeful Fishburne would return in another film should the opportunity present itself, and the Bowery King is mysterious enough to warrant another appearance. In fact, the director claims to envision him as an integral part of his idea for a third movie. So, it would be a shame if we never saw the crime lord again. Based on his interactions with John, it's clear the two have a tumultuous history, but they did join forces and could do so again depending on the situation. The Bowery King and his personal army were very much off the grid and could give John asylum if he was in a giving mood. But since Wick has so little to offer in return, he's more desperate than he was in Chapter 2. Would the Bowery King, be so charitable? Who knows? So if John is out of friends in the United States, he could look elsewhere for aid. Stahelski mentioned in an interview with a Screen Rant that the story could possibly shift. The story could possibly shift gears to the Middle East or Asia, two regions he is a fan of. So there's still a lot about John's past audiences do not know. So it's plausible, he has some contacts in foreign lands who could lend a helping hand. Setting the third installment in a different country after Rome took center stage in Chapter 2 could be a wise creative choice and give the filmmakers more interesting locations to use for whatever set pieces they have in mind for the next outing. Given how heavily martial arts inspired the action of John Wick, this could also be a great way to pay homage to its audience and roots, opening the door for mind-blowing action. Oh yeah. So even if John is to find an ally or two, he faces a task even more impossible than the one he previously accomplished. If he's able to kill Winston, it doesn't necessarily mean the contract will be lifted. So, unless Wick single-handedly mows through everybody in the assassin network, which would, stretch the realm of believability, he's going to have to find some way to get he's going to have to find some way to get out, of course. So, but he's going to have to find some way to get the account canceled before someone gets the better of him. That has a lot of potential to be a compelling narrative, placing the protagonist in a perilous situation that's without precedent. As long as the dog is safe and secure, fans would happily be on board for that. So yeah, keep that dog safe, John, since that's the link to your beloved Helen. So rest in peace, Helen. So, John Wick versus the World looks to be the main pitch for John Wick Chapter 3, and if the results are anything like the first two entries, viewers will be in for a treat. They've set themselves up nicely for a film that can further escalate the stakes while at the same time revealing more about the larger universe. Granted, uh, it'll be hard to see how this potential plot could be topped in a fourth entry. I don't think there's going to be a four. Well, actually, you know what? There probably would be a four because, I think, they might do a prequel. So the prequel might be the final chapter. You never know. Say he does survive chapter 3 and, he's probably in a home or somewhere in a house off the grid or whatever with his dog. And, he might reflect on his life as, a, a contract killer, hitman, So, who knows? We might be able to see that part where he killed 3 men in the bar with a pencil. So, that'd be cool. And I was kind of, I did wonder what his impossible task looked like. So, that might be, prequel. That's if Keanu Reeves is wants to, or, that's if he wants to do a fourth film. So that's up to him. But, I think a prequel probably would be necessary, but, maybe. But maybe it's not important. So, but some prequels aren't necessary. But I feel like there would, it would be necessary for the John Wick, series. So, but just a thought. So, yeah. But so perhaps now is the time for Stahelski to go for broke and cap off a thrilling action trilogy unlike anything we've seen. So with John ideally finally getting to live a tranquil existence with no worries about who may come to visit, time will tell, but there are a number of possibilities for the filmmakers to go, and audience can't wait to see what they have in store. So, John Wick is now playing in theaters, so of course, so I'm thinking about seeing that a second time, so. But yeah, so that concludes this topic, of course, and I'm going to give my reviews. Now I'm going to give my reviews on John Wick Chapter 2. So, I think that John Wick Chapter 2 exceeded all expectations. It's more action, more rootin' tootin' ready for shooting, and, the storyline was understandable, but honestly, I did not see, that breaking the cardinal rule. I never thought that I would see the day when John Wick actually broke the cardinal rule, which is never to do business in continental grounds. So, he was like, I'm going to seek refuge. Santino was like, I'm going to seek refuge, in the continental. I'm going to stay here indefinitely. You can't get me, ha ha. But John was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm tired of chasing you. I've been chasing you for quite some time. I just decided, okay, blow his head off. But honestly, when he came to the continental with the gun, I was like, oh no. We were like, oh, don't do it. Next thing you know, pow. But the joke was on Santino pretty much, I mean, because think about it, he broke, 2 cardinal rules, which is don't do a blood oath, and most importantly, do not conduct business on continental grounds in any of the continental hotels in any country. So, but yeah, I like that part where, like when he was in Rome, that little shootout he did when he did his little exit. Now that was off the chain. I was like, wow, just all those shooting techniques. I was like, he was just blowing them away, man. He was using his gun, he was using the machine gun and the shotgun. He was, using all that. So until he ran out of bullets for all those guns, he only had his pistol. He was just using that too, taking somebody else's gun, taking their. I was like, wow. And then that fight with Common, that was a good fight too. But it was, what was funny was he was shooting everybody, but when he came to Common, he could never hit him with a bullet. It took a knife to, take him out. So I was like, wow. But of course, I don't think Common's going to be in the third installment. I'll be very surprised if he does, but he got stabbed, and I guess the knife hit an artery, so if he ever takes it out, he bleeds out, dies. The end. End of Common. So wouldn't be surprised. But hey, he probably pulled the knife out and decided, okay, screw it. But then I was like, at the end, yeah, I'm all over the place. Honestly, the what's the dude, Vigo Altasov, or his name's hard to pronounce. I didn't know Vigo had a brother, so that surprised me. But at least the brother didn't get killed. So he was like, you know what? He could have killed me right here. Hey, because it turns out, you kind of wondered, like, what happened to John Wick's car, since Aurelio wouldn't take the car because it belonged to John. So what's that dude's name? Yosef, Vigo's son, was like, okay, we're going to take our business someplace else. So I was thinking, okay, where did he go? He went to his uncle's, Vigo's brother's place, and gave the car to him, and he kept the car. And then if John Wick eventually found the car, it got totaled, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna get that car back now that he's a wanted man all over the world. So, and I'm thinking it's gonna take a while for, Aurelio, played by John Leguizamo, to fix that car. So yeah, I hope he got some allies somewhere that are off the books. But I was thinking, I know his wife Helen, who died in the movie. I know she has family, so he might have to seek refuge with them, and hopefully not put them in danger. But we'll see what happens in the third movie once they get the green light. But I just like, wow, But I was also wondering, who's going to get that seat at the table? There's an empty seat now since Santino's dead and Gianna's dead. So, and by the way, I forgot to mention in the first topic that Sharon, who is the receptionist at the Continental Hotel, is going to play a big role in the third film, and Winston, played by Ian McShane, is also going to play a big role in the film, and the Continental is going to play a big role in the film too, in the third film too. So, be ready for that. But anyway, back to the movie. The car stunts were good. The sound of that Mustang was like, wow. You'd be like, dang, you just, woo. Kind of got me thinking about that Fast and Furious car, that car that Vin Diesel was driving, So, that was, man. It exceeded all expectations. And this time, the body count was huge. So now, I lost count of how many people he actually capped in this movie. So, yeah, because I know for a fact that in the first film, hopefully you guys actually seen the first film, but if you do like a little kill count, you'd be like, okay, this is how many people he killed. So, turns out it was somewhere between 75 or 76 in that movie. So, but yeah, this movie was so good. I'm definitely buying it on iTunes, and I'm definitely going to be seeing it a second time. I'm definitely going to, of course, buy it on iTunes when it comes out, but man, like I said, that movie exceeded all expectations, and I think that movie was worth the wait. The action was good, the stunts were good, the fight sequences were good. Keanu Reeves did, he trained very hard for this. Of course, he trained very hard for this. He's been going to the range, shooting. He's done judo, jiu-jitsu, and other, martial arts. So, all that went well with the movie. So, the cinematography was excellent. Car stunts were excellent. The settings, everything. The little luxury too. That was good. I liked how I like how, the costume designing was good. I like how he was all GQ'd up. The music was good. I give it 2 thumbs way, way up. Give it a 10 out of 10, a 5 out of 5. So, I hope, those who have seen it, I hope you guys liked it. So, but yeah, everything about it was excellent. The fighting scene, the choreography. Oh man, the choreography, especially with the gun moves, the fight scenes, that was all excellent on so many levels, man. I mean, I ain't never seen a contract killing movie like this before, man. Matter of fact, this movie makes Jason Bourne and Jack Reacher look like punks. Makes their movies look like child's play. That's how good this John Wick movie is. So, but yeah, like I said, it exceeded all expectations. Just mind blowing. You'd be like, oh my gosh. You like, wow. But, that breaking the continental rule thing, that was unexpected. I'm thinking like, wow, like he actually did not care about the rules anymore. Because back in the first one, he did. But, he was, this time, Winston decided, okay, I'm not going to kill you because I don't, I chose not to. But I am going to revoke, your membership at the Continental. So of course, he's going to do that. But other than that, he's on his own. So the contract is now international, nationwide now. So you'd be like, okay, he's excommunicated. He can no longer go to any Continental hotels since his membership is now revoked. But he got a better deal than Miss Perkins because Miss Perkins, she didn't get no, she didn't get no 1 hour window when she got excommunicated. Matter of fact, her membership got revoked by her own hand. Matter of fact, the management just put bullets in her head like crazy. So John Wick was the lucky one. Miss Perkins was not, unfortunately. Well, but yeah, she knew better than to break the rules. John did too, but hey, John has to find a way to survive. But I think he'll figure it out probably. So, but yeah, once again, that movie was good, exceeded all expectations. That's a movie I would watch over and over and over again. Especially that choreography, man. Enjoy it, because I don't think you're ever going to see something like that again. Matter of fact, you didn't see that in the Bourne movies, or in the Jack Reacher movies, or in the Bond. Matter of fact, not even James Bond got nothing on John Wick. So, I'm just telling like it is. So, that concludes this topic. And of course, before I forget, I have a little special announcement concerning the Avengers Infinity War movie. A new character has been confirmed. Well, actually, it's a character that you're familiar with, but Tom Holland's Spider-Man is now confirmed for Avengers Infinity War. So, yay! But of course, I was expecting that. I mean, after all, since Sony is sharing rights to Spider-Man with Marvel, I figure, hey, why not you might as well just put Spider-Man in the Infinity War movie, right? So, but yeah, that was it. I'm going to be retiring for the evening. So, make sure you visit us and like us on Facebook. And thank you. And y'all guys have a wonderful evening.